Okay, friends, it's rainbow time and it's hard to resist sharing this with you. So here's a journal. This is from 9/23/2010, the second of that day, Mayan day 3, Lord, light, or sun. And that's 3 Ahau. Okay, it's called Transcending both time and polarity, even absent understanding. Sounds fun, huh? Let me expand my view a bit. All right, so here we go. I am having so much fun with the collapsing of time. How is it manifesting for you there in your life? I know it must be. I can see why many people mistook the Mayan calendar for predicting the end of everything. As a society, as a world, pretty much we are terribly wound up within time. It's quite built into all we do, say, and think, into the language itself. Well, it wasn't always like that, nor will it continue to be. Time itself is on its way out. Yeah! Have you given any contemplation to that? Well, remember to stay in heart with these journals. That is, if you want to get anything worthwhile out of them. They are not directed either from or to anyone's mind. So, I won't go deep into this. That's for you to do as well. Excuse me. What I want to share, though, is my experience of time fading away. We don't have to wait for any date in 2012 for this. It's happening right now, and it has been oncoming for years now. Time is shortening already. Just look around. Now, for me, a part of the awakening that is coming on is the rise above polarity and the duality that is life in 3D. And I've spoken of this often, and I bet you've got your own experiences of it. Now, instead of feeling the need to be polarized to the one side or the other on this or that argument, belief, organization, whatever, I see both sides quite easily. The analogy I like is that they're both sides of the one coin. What is happening is that I see everything as united, as joined, as the whole of it. No longer is my vision divided as it has been seemingly always before. Something just hit me. This is how the right brain sees things. The right brain sees things as all one. So that's another way to look at this. The right brain and the left brain joining. Okay, back to the journal. Now, it seems we must make a friend of Lady Paradox. She seems the handmaid for wisdom. She makes an appearance when wisdom draws near. Thus, the world is both illusion and it's not. There is the emptiness, the no mind, the approaching no time as well. These consume everything on the one hand, yet on the other, the cosmos just keeps ticking along. Both are true and at the same time. No, don't ask me to explain. Who could? It just is. That's why it is such a relief to have decided that it is what it is a great motto, a great understanding to live by or with. It just is what it is. Some things we will understand, most things we won't. Well, so what? Why fight that? Why not just flow with what is? Follow where your heart leads. That's enough. Everything just takes care of itself. And I'm going to step out again to say, by being willing to be empty like that and to simply accept the present moment for what it contains, you get, that's transcendent. That opens the door to transcendence because you are open to higher and higher understandings to enter in instead of thinking you know what something is. All right, back to the journal. Understanding is not mandatory. That scares the hell out of mind, doesn't it? Can you step back and see that? Mind always wants to know. Well, have you realized yet that there is literally no end to the questions mind comes up with? It is not possible ever to satisfy the mind. Why? Well, there is infinity and eternity, right? Mind can never wrap itself around all of that. Thus, there will be a never-ending flow of mind's questions. Now, how can you look for solace, for completion in that? Well, no thank you. That sounds horrible to me. It is so unnecessary as well. To those locked in mind, this makes no sense. I can't help that. Just click away, go do something else. Heart to heart, I transmit the light as it flows through, and that is my joy. Light and understanding don't always flow precisely together. I don't care. I just do my best, knowing that is enough. I let understanding arrive when it will. And I'm going to step out again here and say, there's understanding and then there's understanding. On deeper levels, we understand everything. And maybe I'm just resting in that. I don't know. It's just the conscious mind that will not necessarily understand. No, puppy. Okay. There's a real benefit to this, by the way, to letting understanding arrive when it will. The understanding, when you wait for it like this, is generally cosmic in nature. It isn't just mind that delivers here. It's something much deeper than mind. Heart understanding to me is as good as it gets, at least for where I am, who I am now, whatever that is. And since no one has ever managed to escape the present moment, well, now is enough. Just to do right by this now, that is enough. Okay, back to what I was sharing about how polarity and duality are disappearing from my world. I am now much more able to understand pretty much anyone. I no longer judge. The blame game is over for me. Good riddance, Stu. What a relief. Puppy, you stay in here. Excuse me, please. I guess I could crate him before I started, but that doesn't seem fair, so just put up with me. All right, this means there are no longer the right things and the wrong things to do and to think. I've given over thinking pretty much. I just follow this heart. That is my new right way. I follow now. It hasn't led me wrong so far. Now that's what works for me. When we really contact deep heart space, well, you just know with some inestimable, unspeakable love, you would never be led to do harm. Just couldn't happen. The trust is there. I can't give this to you. You have to take your own steps, find your own heart. Then you'll know it's trustworthy. Okay, so perhaps we from the heart can agree that everyone pretty much does the best that they can at the time, in the now. Once you give them that, well, you soften quite a lot. No more condemnation arises at all. Oh, sadness can come. There is still pain with life. The chores still need doing. Chop wood, carry water is the fact, both before and after awakening. Much doesn't change. On the inside, though, well, you're simply not the same person. You feel like the before you must be another embodiment, another lifetime at least. It is so distant from that which is true for you now. You might as well be living in another world, too. I just realized after a big disappointment the other day how the absence of this polarity in my consciousness, well, it's not quite the reality in life out there yet. Funny how it's the little things that bring the understandings your way. I learned of a website full of so many documentaries, and they're free, so I was eager to explore it to see if this heart would lead me to examine any of them. As I got there, though, and wandered through the very long list of their offerings, I was disappointed. I realized it was deeply polarized. Only one general side or view of things was to be offered here. It made me sad when we pick and choose, looking only for those things that support our view, our way of seeing things. That is polarity itself at work. Whenever we make others, any others, the enemy, we are polarized. Excuse me. I have to remember to turn that thing down before I start. Okay. Whenever we make anyone, anywhere, any beings the enemy, that is polarity itself at work. We are polarized. And the natural outcome of this is simple. What we resist persists. Thus, by seeking to eliminate something, the net result is that we perpetuate it. Come on, can you see the humor in this? Please. People locked into mind don't see this at all. It's a 3D thing. As Einstein said, without rising above the problems, we will not be able to solve them. To remain on the same level with them is to be polarized. By definition, it's like saying heads is right and tails is wrong. It's a conundrum. It's insoluble at that level. One simply must rise up above it, surrendering the old way of looking at it. Nothing else works. And like I said earlier, you can also look at this as coming into your right brain, because the right brain doesn't see things in this polarized way either. All right, mind doesn't want to hear this though. This is mind's whole world, left brain's world, polarity, duality, all the rest. Mind is terrified to even contemplate a world where these things don't work, don't hold. We lose the ability to choose for a while. We begin to see how everything in its own way is okay. Mind, in its fear, speaks up and says, well, maybe you'll just take up a gun and start shooting all the bad guys. Why not if everything is okay? Before I answer to that, please just look at it closely.